From Honolulu to Soldier Field in Chicago, we get set for the opening kickoff, Bears and 49ers. But first, down to the field and Laura Oatman. Laura.
Hi, Kenny. Every Bear I asked a question to about John Fox, they did the same thing. They smiled before they answered. Tracy Porter told me he's had confidence in us since day one when we didn't have it. He kept telling us, you are special, until it finally rubbed off. Said Kyle Long, when I grow up, I want to be John Fox. He's consistent, he's honest, and he's real. We believe in him, but more importantly, he has us believing in each other. Kenny?
Thanks, Laura. John Fox has led 2 franchises to the Super Bowl. On the other side, the first-year head coach of the 49ers, Jim Tomsula.
One of the most respected guys around. You sit down with him, talk to him. The best way to describe Jim Tomsula, he's a football guy.
He sure is. Bears won the toss. They elect to defer, so Robbie Gould kicks off. Bruce Ellington will take a knee. So Blaine Gabbert and the 49ers offense will start from the 20-yard line. Gabbert, a first-round pick by the Jaguars back in 2011. His 4th start this season as a 49er.
And he's playing really well with this opportunity with the San Francisco 49ers. And very similar to the story that Laura shared about John Fox. You ask people about Blaine Gabbert on the offense of the 49ers. They get a big smile on their face, too.
Sean Drone in the backfield, 2 tight ends set. On first down, this is Drone, the former Bear, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Mitch Unrein as we take a look at the 49ers offense.
And it'll be important to get that run game established. The Bears defense has struggled to stop it, so those guys up front, but we got to keep our eye on Anquan Boldin. Has had an incredible career in the NFL. How do they match up against Anquan on the outside?
On 2nd and 10, Gabbert looking to throw, and the pass is broken up by Kyle Fuller, the left corner.
One of the guys who'll be responsible for working against Anquan Boldin. This time he's on the other side of the field. Watch the instinct sitting there. Jumps that route right there. He is trying to get it to Anquan Boldin. Just a little curl route. Get some positive yards. Good timing. Good hand to eye to knock that away.
3rd down and 10. Gabbert out of the shotgun. Gabbert swings it out to Drone, but he loses 5 yards on the hit from Jonathan Anderson.
It's been a tough first quarter for the 49ers all season. They have gotten off to slow starts during the course of the game. A 3-and-out right there.
49ers have not scored a touchdown in the first quarter all season. So Bradley Pinion, the rookie out of Clemson, from inside his 5-yard line. Mark Mariani back deep for the Bears. And it's taken on the near side as into San Francisco territory is Bryce Callahan. He's still going. 2 flags as Callahan takes it all the way.
And we're going to have a hold on Leroy Reynolds, and really no reason for it. All he's got to do is wall off his man in that situation. He is surrounded by flags.
Return, holding, receiving team, number 52. 10-yard penalty from the start of the foul. Chicago keeps the ball. First down.
Should be right there. And just grabbing a hold. Allow Bryce Callahan to try and make that defender miss. You've put yourself in a difficult position to execute the block. So have faith in your return guy. He's got a skill set. Even though that's Bryce Callahan on a trick return, you've got an athletic guy from the secondary. See what he can do.
And then Reynolds grabbing hold of Kendall Gaskins. But still terrific field position for the Bears from the San Francisco 41-yard line. Terrific 6-game stretch for Jay Cutler. Cutler from the shotgun, handing it off to Matt Forte on first down, and he gains a couple to the San Francisco 39.
And he'll be running behind offensive line that's starting to gel together. The big change this year, Kyle Long kicking out to right tackle from right guard. And for the fifth time this season, we're going to have Alshon Jeffrey, Matt Forte, and Martellus Bennett. Martellus Bennett, a matchup issue in the secondary. He's a very good end-of-line blocker as well at the tight end position.
Bennett returning, missed the Packer game with a rib injury. Bears still without wide receiver Eddie Royal for the 5th straight game. Forte split out wide to the left. On 2nd and 8, catches made by Bennett. Down at the 32-yard line, it will be 3rd down and 1.
And just a lot of new faces, and one of the struggles about consistency for this 49er team, and especially on this defense, the one constant, Navarro Bowman, coming back from that really challenging leg injury, knee injury, and you watch him on film, he is all the way back. I mean, he is flying to the football, great vision, great speed.
Second leading tackler in the entire league is Bowman, and here is Forte. Good second effort, and he picks up the 1st down. Looked initially like he would get stopped short, but then Forte works his way to the San Francisco 30.
And that's what you have to have in the short yardage goal line situation. Sometimes the running back has to create his own running lane, and that's what Matt Forte does right there. He's going to be stopped short of that 1st down. Put Chicago in a tough choice right there, but that effort got the 1st down.
3 receivers to the right. Forte shifts from the 30-yard line, off the play fake. Cutler fires to the end zone, and it is broken up by Tremaine Brock. Pass was intended for Josh Bellamy.
Well, if you have the quick screens to the outside, here's one of the plays that you have to guard against as a defender. You're worried about getting up there and making that tackle. All of a sudden, it's the cell, and those guys are getting down the field vertically. And he actually has an opportunity to make that throw for the catch down to Joshua Bellamy. Just a little bit underthrown, allows Tremaine Brock the opportunity to come back and make that play.
On 2nd and 10, it's Forte, finds a hole, and gains 7, down to the 23.
I don't think he gets enough credit around the league. He is one of these guys that does everything well. You know, just the running game, the passing game, you get him into the screen element. There's so many things that you have to guard against, and one of the things that Adam Gase, the offensive coordinator, wanted to do was kind of take some reps away from him, keep him healthy in December, but he told us, he goes, he does so many things well, you just don't want to take him off the field.
Forte returning against the Packers, had missed the 3 previous games. Cutler on 3rd and 3. Caught by Bennett, but 2 yards shy of the marker.
That's a good, quick decision right there by Jay Cutler, understanding what happened. The 49ers have him. They're moving up and forth. Watch 53. He's going to back off right there, but now he's coming. So you see that. He's going to be unblocked. Let me move to my right and see if my big tight end can make a play to get the 1st down.
2 yards shy, so the Bears send out Robbie Gould and the field goal unit. This will be a 40-yard attempt. A new long snapper. Bears bringing in Patrick Scales this week to replace Thomas Gafford. Patrick O'Donnell is the holder. Gould from 40. It is straight through. Early 1st quarter, Soldier Field in Chicago. 3-0 Bears.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
What a day in Chicago. Was it really December?
I know, it's amazing. The last 2 days here, not a cloud in the sky, 50 degrees, no wind in the Windy City.
We're back here next week, hopefully more of the same.
I've been looking ahead, Kenny. I don't think we're going to get as lucky.
Ellington back deep for the Niners. It's taken on the short kickoff by Quentin Patton. Patton cuts to the outside. There is a flag. Patton out of bounds at the 35.
Yeah, we're going to have a hold on Earl Jones-Porty. Same thing again. You know, you've got him pushed inside. He's not going to get out and make the tackle.
Holding, return team, number 63. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. San Francisco keeps the ball. 1st down. Timeout.
Players love playing for John Fox. 3-0 Bears.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
50 degrees, yes, 50 degrees and sunny here in Chicago. A little warmer in Hawaii where the pregame guys are hanging out. Second possession for the 49ers as Sean Drone is out to the 22-yard line.
Well, we talked at the top about getting consistency with the Niners and the injuries at the running back spot. Boy, how fortunate were they to find Sean Drone available at that time. He's came in and really done a nice job. Played every single snap in the game last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Talk about an every down back.
Carlos Hyde missing his 5th consecutive game. Reggie Bush on IR. Pass incomplete, intended for Bolden.
Double coverage right there by the Bears. Had him high and low.
'49ers were 0 for 9 last week on 3rd down. They've not converted since week 11 in Seattle. Gabbert steps up, down he goes. Back at the 15-yard line, Willie Young with his 4th sack of the season.
And the scary thing about this for 49er fans is this is done with only your down 4. They show a lot of people up there, but back everybody out. That's just your down 4 getting pressure there, and you see the strength on that pass rush by Willie Young. You've got a couple guys on the outside, Lamar Houston, Willie Young. Those are converted 4-3 defensive ends playing outside linebacker, and then they get into those pass rush situations.
Pinion's second punt taken at the 38 by Mariani. Out to the 47-yard line. Excellent field position for the Bears. Following the sack by Young.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. By Target. Expect more, pay less. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
3-0 Bears. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman in Chicago. How about the average starting field position for Chicago?
They're going to have to flip that around. You've got to start getting some first downs. You don't have to, get points here right away, but you've got to start flipping the field, making this Chicago Bear offense at least work on a longer field than they have the first 2 series.
Jeremy Langford in the backfield. Now the rookie out of Michigan State is into 49ers territory.
Adam Gase saying he does not play like a rookie at the NFL level. When you can step up to this level and understand pass protection, be a 3rd down back, be a viable receiver, that takes younger guys some time. And everybody with the Bears organization on the offensive side of the ball really impressed with Jeremy Langford and how quickly he has picked this up.
The injured 49er, Michael Wilhoit, to the sidelines. Wilhoit, the second leading tackler for San Francisco this season.
Well, with the retirement of Patrick Willis and Chris Borland, you wonder what you're going to do. That's a lot of depth to lose at that position. Michael Wilhoit has been a good player for the Niners, able to step right in there.
Placed by Gerald Hodges. Bears with an extra blocker, Jermon Bushrod on the right side. Second down and 4. Again, it is Langford. And he sneaks through for a first down to the San Francisco 41.
When Adam Gase came here as the offensive coordinator, the first thing he told everybody he was going to do is we are going to run the football. We're going to take some pressure off of Jay Cutler. He's not going to have to feel like he has to go out and win every game for us, throwing the football around. You can see the commitment here early in this game.
First and 10 from the 41. Again, it is Langford for a gain of 3.
And it's funny when you have an opportunity. It was my first opportunity to talk to Coach Gase, and one of the things that I'm always interested in when you see somebody who's been around a lot of really impressive offensive minds is how do you combine all that information and kind of create your own offense. And he's been around some of the best in the NFL, and you'll see different elements of all that here during the course of the game. This is a little bit of that Peyton Manning influence that he had while he was out in Denver. Control at the line of scrimmage.
Empty backfield, 2nd and 7. As Cutler throws over the middle, and the catch is made at the 33-yard line by Zach Miller for a gain of 6.
You can see how quickly the ball is coming out of the pocket as well. And that's a testament to the type of defensive players that you see across this league. Tremendous pass rushers, tremendous athletes. You can't hold that ball in the pocket like you used to be able to do when I was playing.
Third down and 2 for Chicago. And now the Bears, the Bears make a late substitution, so the officials will allow the 49ers to substitute if they want to. Play clock winding down. Bears get the snap away, and that pass bounces away from the intended receiver, Langford.
Now that's rookie-esque right there. We just talked about how he hasn't been playing like a rookie during the course of the season and having opportunities to get in on third down situations, but coming out of that little slot area, he has a good feel for it, but he turns his head before he has the catch secured.
Bears will set up for a field goal attempt, 51 yards. 49ers thought they were going to punt. The return man, Bruce Ellington, came out onto the field. And the 49ers continue to shuffle personnel on and off. Looks like they only have 10 men out. As Gould is now 2 for 2. So some of the 49ers thought it was going to be a punt return, and they got caught up 1 man short. 2 Robbie Gould field goals. Bears with a 6-0 lead. Just under 6 minutes remaining first quarter. Bears again with terrific field position. Ellington back deep for the Niners.
And Kenny, on that field goal, the guy running off the field, actually not 11 to 10, but actually 12 to 11. Good thing he got off, or you've got an opportunity for the Bears to have a first down.
Right. It was Ellington who ran off the field after he set up for the return. So Blaine Gabbert and the 49ers offense back out. As we mentioned, they have not scored a first quarter touchdown all season, only 12 points in the first quarter.
And what we've seen to start this afternoon are 2 3-and-outs that have given the Bears great field position to start their drives and leading to that 6-0 lead for Chicago.
They start from the 17-yard line on the toss. It is thrown. Not much. Will Sutton the tackle as we head to Los Angeles for a game break and check in with Mike Hill.
Big game between Seattle and Minnesota. It's the rookie Thomas Lou Rawls who says, "You'll never find a spin move as good as mine." TD run in 3 straight games for him. Seattle on top 7-0. Kenny, they are back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Here is Gabbert checking it down on second down, and Drone is tackled at the 21-yard line by Shea McClellan. So another 3rd and long for San Francisco.
And you hear the term complementary football talked about, and what that is all 3 phases playing well together. You can see these first 2 possessions by the San Francisco offense has put the San Francisco defense in a tough spot. And add to that, the Bears would have had a really big play on that opening possession because of special teams in the punt return if not for the penalty.
3rd down and 6. They keep it on the ground with Drone. There is a flag as Drone picks up a first down out to the 29.
This is such a nice move, nice cut.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
They tackle Eric Pierce.
That's a shame. A nice run by Sean Drone on this play. I want you to watch him as he rolls in here. He's going to dip outside, and then he's going to cut back in. Number 71, Eric Pierce, is on the block against Pernell McPhee. But just a good feel by Sean Drone on that run to set the defender up so your offensive lineman can make that block, and then you get back inside.
So it is now 3rd down and 16 following the penalty. Pass is caught, but not nearly enough. The tight end Vance McDonald makes the catch, and for the 3rd time in the first quarter, San Francisco will punt it away.
And this was one of the big things that was talked about in the Arizona game as a negative. We talked about the effort there and can they match that again, but offensively getting into these 3rd and longer situations, the ball being thrown short, not really giving people an opportunity. We talked to Blaine Gabbert about that, and you have to be smart. This part of the field, a lot of 49er fans are going to be thinking, here we go again, but you've got to be smart. You're backed up. Let your punter come out. See if he can flip field.
Good kick. Mariani backpedaling all the way to the 22-yard line. Brings it out to the 34, a 62-yard punt. Following another nice stand by the Chicago defense. To get to 500, lead the 49ers 6-0. Their start from the 33-yard line. And a yard on first down is Forte.
Well, they had the right defense called there. Eric Mangini, defensive coordinator for the 49ers, bringing a secondary blitz to the run side. Jumbled everything up in the backfield for the Bears.
49ers still without linebacker Michael Wilhoit, their second leading tackler, questionable with an ankle injury.
See if they leave that blitz on. Looked like Navarro Bowman was coming.
2nd and 10. Coming to the outside, and it is picked off and taken all the way into the end zone for a touchdown by Jimmy Ward.
They kept the blitz on. Navarro Bowman does come on the blitz, but in the audible at the line of scrimmage, Jay Cutler had changed the play to a quick pass to the outside. So here comes your pressure. We're going to have a quick solution out to the right, but Jimmy Ward jumps that one. Nice job. You see that receiver release to the outside. Mark Mariani releases to the outside in the block. He trusts what he's seeing and jumps that quick bubble screen.
49ers finally have a first quarter touchdown. It comes from their defense.
The offense still doesn't have a first quarter touchdown.
The extra point attempt is no good. Looked like Eddie Goldman, number 91, got a piece of it.
He should be working right in the middle of your screen. It's been amazing the impact of moving that back this season. It has really made some of these games interesting at the end because of missed extra points and then decisions that are made coming off of that situation during the course of the game.
First missed extra point for the Niners since 2003. But they have a first quarter touchdown. It comes from their defense, and we are tied at 6 here in Chicago.
But we talk about complementary football all the time, and the 49ers came out and kind of got into that rut that they've been in the first quarter. 2 3-and-outs give the Bears great field position. They get 6 points out of it. The third series they come out, it looks like they're going to do the same thing. They trust their punter. He flips the field a little bit. Defense comes out in better field position and makes a great play. And that's a design by Jay Cutler at the line of scrimmage. He's going to audible, sees that blitz coming, wants to go outside. And this is why players do film study all the time. You're recognizing formation, personnel, and as soon as he saw Mark Mariani move to the outside to get a block on the cornerback, he trusted that bubble screen coming and jumped it for the pick 6.
That is the 7th return touchdown allowed by the Bears by their defense or special teams, most in the NFL. So the Chicago offense will come back out onto the field following the interception. Return for a touchdown by a second-year safety, Jimmy Ward.
Just got to come back out and play. It's a mistake. It's a good play. And a lot of times people look at a situation and you go to the negative side of that. You can always go to the positive side as well. That's a heck of a play by Jimmy Ward on that interception.
Their start from their 20-yard line as Forte tries to spin away from Gerald Hodges, but could not.
It's one of the things you see when you watch the Niners on film. There's a ton of movement in their front. You're going to see Gerald Hodges just come right through, times it up perfect, steps through, unblocked. That's very difficult for your offensive line to recognize that. If you time that out right, that is very difficult on the offensive line to get a hit on a blitzing linebacker.
Gerald Hodges, who started this season with the Vikings, played in 4 games for Minnesota. Makes the tackle. He's in for the injured Wilhoit. Loss of 2 on the play. Cutler rolling right. Now sets and fires downfield, and the catch is made for a first down by Alshon Jeffrey at the 48-yard line. A 30-yard completion.
This is a really nice play design. You're running the bootleg, and a lot of people are going to think tiered route, which means you're going to have solutions on this right side, shallow, medium, and deep. And what do? They throw an in going back into the middle of the field to Alshon Jeffrey.
From the 48-yard line on first down, it's Forte across midfield into 49ers territory, all the way to the 43-yard line, setting up second down and 1.
Sometimes they don't look pretty. You know, there was nothing flashy about that run, but look at the position it puts you in. 2nd and 2, 2nd and 1 in that situation. That's a heck of a job by Matt Forte, just getting it behind those big bodies up front, keeping those feet moving, keeping your forward body lean.
It's Forte again, and he picks up the first down. Matt Forte, who became a father for the 2nd time this week. His wife Danielle gave birth to their son Matthew. Of course, Jay Cutler and his wife Kristen became parents for the 3rd time the previous week.
You talk about complementary football, you can see the impact of it right there, how many plays Chicago has had in the San Francisco end of the field.
Final half minute of the first quarter. From the 36-yard line, it is Forte. Gain of 3. Quentin Dial made the tackle. And that should take us to the end of the first quarter in Chicago. Only 5 yards of offense for the San Francisco 49ers. But they tie the score after 2 Chicago field goals with a defensive touchdown, but then a blocked extra point. So after 1 in Chicago, Bears and 49ers deadlocked at 6. First quarter numbers, 49ers with more points than total yards. No first downs, but they do have a defensive score. Bears on the move, 2nd down and 7. From the San Francisco 33. Cutler to Forte. And Matt Forte has another Bears first down inside the 20 to the 19.
Chicago has always been a very good screen team, and a lot of that has to do with Matt Forte. You put Navarro Bowman in a tough spot, kind of the single linebacker there in the middle. As he breaks out, he's got 2 offensive linemen waiting for him.
14-yard pickup. Bears in the red zone.
Martellus Bennett one-on-one down here. Pretty good size advantage for the Bears.
They keep it on the ground with Forte. He's to the 5-yard line before he is tackled. 14 more yards for Matt Forte, 14 on back-to-back plays.
The people that love a commitment to the running game is the offensive line. Watch this offensive line start coming off the ball. They're doing a nice job with their combination blocks. They're getting hats on hat inside.
Bunch formation to the left, and Bennett, the tight end, split wide to the right. And as Cutler hands it off to Forte, he's still gone. He's in. Touchdown. Rocking the baby.
Proud Papa. Well, he's had 3 or 4 runs already today that there's not a whole lot there. And here's another one. This one gets in for a touchdown. I mean, look at the spin move right there. You're spun out of Navarro Bowman. That's one of the surest tacklers in the NFL. You mentioned, Kenny, he's number 2 in the league right now in total tackles, and he spins out of that. Look at him driving. Corey Lemonnier, that's a big man right there.
Newborn son, Matthew, born earlier this week. And now,
got a 49er taking a knee in the secondary.
Ian
Williams.
Injury timeout. As the Bears had come out to set up for the extra point.
One of their key guys down in the middle. So with this commitment to the run by the Chicago Bears, this will be a big loss if Ian Williams is not able to finish the game.
Today's game is sponsored by Pfizer, by Amazon Fire TV, So Long Showhole, and by Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still finger-licking good.
Early second quarter in Chicago. Bears setting up for the extra point following the Matt Forte touchdown. Ian Williams, the injured 49er, off to the sidelines.
Good news is he walked off under his own power.
Robbie Gould. 13-6 Chicago. Third rushing touchdown of the season for Matt Forte. He had 49 of the 80 yards for the Bears on that drive.
Yeah, he's been your lead guy here in Chicago, and you know, whether it's the running game, the passing game, you can see the numbers that he's put up so far this year. But now you've got an addition. You've got Jeremy Langford. We've talked about the impression he's made on the Bears and their offensive staff, not playing like a rookie in his rookie year. You have the opportunity now to keep Matt Forte healthy, you know, down the stretch, and give him a break from time to time.
Saw Langford during an earlier series. Forte with 47 yards on the ground, also had a catch on that last drive for 14 yards.
And one of the better screen backs in the NFL throughout his entire career. He's got a really nice feel for it. He's very patient, does a good job setting up the blocking out in space. It's hard for those big offensive linemen when they get out in space to get matched up against smaller secondary players. And if you've got a running back that kind of sets them up for it, makes that screen so much more successful.
Ellington back deep. He's had his issues, a couple of fumbles on special teams the last 2 weeks. What happened? I thought there was no wind today.
Yeah, that might have just been the placement. There's not enough wind to knock that thing down. He's got to lean it pretty far forward there, Kenny. That's not the Windy City.
No. Ellington has trouble with it. And slides down shy of the 20. Fumbled the kickoff return against Seattle. Muffed a punt last week against Arizona.
Well, he has had conversations with the special teams coach about this situation, and you know, you gotta get that thing corrected, or you're not going to have the opportunity to be out there.
And that's exactly what Thomas McGahee said this week. First and 10 from the 19-yard line. As the catch is made by Anquan Bolden. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Mike Hill.
Bengals continue to roll. Everybody's rolling over the struggling Browns. Andy Dalton to a wide open A.J. Green. 23-yard score. Green already over 100 yards receiving. 14-0 Cincinnati in the second. Kenny Moose back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Bengals at 9-2, their best start since 1976. Travaris Cadet, not Sean Drone, in the backfield for San Francisco as Gabbert takes off. And he picks up a first down. The first down for the 49ers today.
Well, here's the big thing about Blaine Gabbert. He's looking to throw the ball first. Watch him in the pocket as protection starts to break down. He's still going to slide. He's going to move. Eyes are downfield. Now, when everything has kind of closed down, this is the unique ability that he has that I think catches a lot of people off guard. He's a lot more athletic than people think. When you watch him on film, he's a lot more athletic than I remember him at Jacksonville.
Drone returns off the fake to Drone on first down. Gabbert with loads of time. And finding one downfield. And is out of bounds at the 31.
Well, we saw Chicago run a similar play, and it's called a tiered route. You're having everybody come into certain areas, but they broke Alshon Jeffrey into the middle. You're going to have somebody that's going to come into the flat, you're going to have medium, and then you're going to have somebody that's going to get out and go deep. Watch the coverage by the Bears on this. There's your elements there. Everybody is covered. There's nowhere for the quarterback to go with the ball.
Second down and 9. Gabbert to Bolden. Forward progress took him to the 40-yard line. So it will be third down and 1 following the 8-yard pickup.
And it's one of the things that Blaine Gabbert is going to have to battle, and we hear a lot of young quarterbacks going through this during the course of their development is, oh, he's a check-down quarterback. It's also about completions, and we talked to him about those decisions. There's so much more that goes into it. The field position, are they playing man, are they playing zone? There's a lot of elements that go into that decision, whether to check it down or take a risk going deep.
Third down and 1, and how about that quick handoff to the fullback, Bruce Miller.
And you got to go to the college defensive side of the ball to get the good fullbacks nowadays, Kenny.
That's right, Bruce, the two-time Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, he's got that mentality then to get in there and mix it up and be physical at the fullback position. And probably one of the best conversions we've got out there in the NFL today. I've always been a fan of Bruce Miller, watching him play the fullback position.
So the 49ers finally convert. They had been 0 for their last 17 on third down, and now Gabbert misfires. He was looking for the tight end, Vance McDonald.
Coming across the field on the deep route. You watch number 89 release. He's going to push up now the break. He's got a defender waiting for him on that other side.
Now second and 10 from the 44-yard line. This is Drone. Work to spin away out of the tackle, picks up a yard, third down and 9.
Well, one of the more unique situations that we have out here, we talk about chess games, the game behind the game, and we've got Blaine Gabbert, who was the scout quarterback when Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator for the Bears, now was defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. There's a lot of familiarity both ways there. Looks like Vic Fangio has the upper hand a little bit with some coverage on what he knows the skill set of Blaine Gabbert.
49ers must get to the Bears 46. Gabbert throws, and picking up the first down is the tight end, McDonald. Gain of 12 on the play, so it's the second third down conversion on this drive, and McDonald is shaken up.
Working from a little extended position, going to push the flat and then break inside. That's a nice sell on Shea McClellan. Overruns it, you get back inside.
Why does Vance McDonald wear number 89? When he was drafted, his former head coach Jim Harbaugh said he reminded him of his ex-coach here in Chicago, Mike Ditka.
Yeah, that kind of run after the catch. You can see a little bit of it right there, physical, down the field, tough to bring down.
49ers tight end Vance McDonald injured on the last play.
Yeah, potentially going into the concussion protocol established in the NFL. Watch this knee to the back of the head by Shea McClellan right there.
Bruce Miller now lined up at tight end on first down off the fake to Cadet. Gabbert now connects with Cadet, the ex-New Orleans Saint. Spent some time with New England earlier this season, and Cadet gained 6.
And he's going to be a nice changeup for the San Francisco 49ers. And we talked about last week, Sean Drone took every snap offensively, but trying to get Travaris Cadet ready for this. That's where he's most dangerous. He's a very explosive guy. If you get him one-on-one out in some open space, that's a tough matchup for your defense.
10th play of the drive for San Francisco on 2nd and 4. The handoff to Sean Drone. And Drone is close to a first down.
San Fran finally starting to get some consistency with their offense here. Now they've got a couple of plays in Chicago's end of the field. That's got to be a sigh of relief for head coach Jim Tomsula, because that offense came out. They were 3 and out. They were really sputtering to start this game.
The 11th play of the drive coming up. On first down, this is Drone to the Bears, 26.
I had the good fortune of bumping into Tom Rathman on the field pregame, and he's like, can you believe this guy was still available out there? You know, the fact that we could get a guy like Sean Drone at this stage of the season and get him in and how he's played.
Playing for his 6th NFL team, and Drone picks up a first down. He even played 2 games for the Chicago Bears last season.
It's been a career that's very traveled, and a guy like that, you're just looking for an opportunity where somebody believes in you. You can see all the stops that he has had just in 4 years, so taking advantage of a great opportunity in San Francisco.
Right, he's been with 8 organizations overall, has played for 6 in the regular season. On first down, falling forward to the 12-yard line is Cadet.
You see, with the success of this drive, it's also been a little bit of this style of play right here. They've kind of slid into this more up-tempo style here on this drive.
2nd down and 7 as Gabbert tried to swing it out. Pass was deflected by Jarvis Jenkins.
Got some big guys on the end of the line, Kenny. This might have been Pernell McPhee on the outside. And we talk about the big pass rushers. Yeah, it's Pernell McPhee. You've got, Willie Young out there. You've got Lamar Houston. You've got tall, rangy guys coming off that edge. It'll make any of those short throws into that flat area difficult.
3rd down and 7. Gabbert to the outside, and the catch is made for a first down and taken to the 1 by Anquan Boldin.
He's been so consistent throughout his career, and watch what he's able to do here. It's going to be the throws behind him. He's going to be able to stop, plant, get it thrown behind him, secure it, knows the hit is coming from Tracy Porter, maintains possession, and then fights towards the goal line.
Now the Bears allowed to match. As far as substitutions are concerned, that's why the official is standing over the football. On 1st and goal, here is Drone, and he is in for a touchdown.
You've got a good shot at the play being successful when you see the defense with heads turned in conversation going on, fingers pointing, am I over here? Are you over here? And San Francisco able to take advantage of that. Sean Drone breaking it back to the right side for the touchdown.
Dawson had an extra point attempt blocked earlier. This one is good. So we are tied at 13. First touchdown of the season for Sean Drone.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Back in Chicago, Bears and 49ers are tied at 13. It's Tom Rathman, running backs coach on the left, with Sean Drone, who will celebrate his 28th birthday tomorrow.
And you can see the consistency right there. 5 yards on the first 3 drives, 16 plays, 81 yards. That's the consistency that this team is looking for to finish up the stretch here in the 2015 season.
7 first downs on that drive for the 49ers. As the kickoff is brought out across the 15, and there is a flag by Deontay Thompson.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, number 54, Gavin on top of the 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Ray Armstrong.
And this is one of the things that points of emphasis, player safety, coming in, throwing the forearm and the elbow right towards the head of the player.
Armstrong acquired on waivers recently from the Raiders, played in 10 games with Oakland this season. So good field position once again for the Bears. Ian Williams back in on the 49ers D-line, injured earlier. Gain of a yard on first down. Kadeem Carey in the backfield for Chicago. There's Jermon Bushrod, and once again as an extra blocker.
And there's that commitment to the run that offensive coordinator Adam Gase has talked about since day one coming to Chicago. We will run the football.
On 2nd and 8 off the fake to Carey. Another flag as Cutler fires downfield, a diving attempt made by Zach Miller.
Now we're going to have a hold on Kadeem Carey in pass protection.
Holding, offense, number 25, 10-yard penalty, replay, third down.
Carey exits, replaced in the backfield by Jeremy Langford following the penalty.
And you're going to have to be more sure with your protection. You can see right there as Gerald Hodges sidesteps him, he grabs a hold of him. And you're going to get that when you play the San Francisco 49ers. You're going to have Navarro Bowman. You're going to have Gerald Hodges coming in from that inside linebacker position. They run their linebackers through quite a bit.
So the penalty forces the Bears back to the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 18. Cutler sets up the screen to Langford. Not much as Quentin Dial makes the tackle. Gain of just 2. And Navarro Bowman remains down.
We've already had Michael Wilhoit go out for San Francisco at the inside linebacker position. He's coming out to make the play. Hopefully that's just, he slides past and hopefully just had his hand stepped on potentially by Jeremy Langford.
His story has been well documented. Missed the entire 2014 season, suffered the torn ACL and MCL. The NFC Championship game in January of 14, and he told us, we met with him earlier this season, he said, I had to learn to walk again.
We had them in week 2, and it was for me, it was just great to have him back in the NFL this season. Was real happy to have the opportunity to sit down and visit with him in week 2. Such a great player.
3rd down and 16. Bears must get to the 43 for a first down. Cutler with time. Fires downfield looking for Jeffrey. No flags. Kenneth Acker on the coverage. Bears will punt it away.
Well, you're not rushing a lot of defenders. You've got everybody dropped. Actually drew a line at the first down markers with 5 guys. So here's just 3 rushing. So that means 8 defenders are back. So Jay Cutler, a lot of time to survey the field. And then trying to get Alshon Jeffrey on the adjustment up the field on that back shoulder.
So the Bears punting for the first time. Patrick O'Donnell from his 15-yard line. Ellington back deep for the Niners. Ellington will take it out to 30. But terrific coverage downfield from Sherrick McManus. Well, the Bears took a shot downfield to Jeffrey. 49ers football when we return. 49ers medical personnel chatting with Navarro Bowman on the sidelines.
And we'll get an update and let you know exactly what the 49ers organization say they're looking at with Navarro Bowman.
San Francisco offense back on the field. Their best starting field position today. Their own 29. Gabbert under pressure on first down, rolling to his right. And now he throws, and the catch is made by Torrey Smith for a gain of 5 as we check in with Laura Open. Laura.
Navarro Bowman is walking into the Niners locker room right now. I will update that as soon as I get the information. But with Vance McDonald, we know the league has been so serious cracking down on head injuries after Case Keenum in St. Louis. He is in the locker room undergoing concussion protocol right now. I'll update that as I have more information.
Thanks, Laura. And we also just saw Torrey Smith limp off the field, replaced by Quentin Pep. Second down and 5. Gabbert's pass intended for Anquan Bolden. Lamar Houston on the coverage. 3rd and 5 upcoming.
Again, the Chicago Bears just rushing the 3 defenders, dropping 8 into coverage, kind of drawing a line. This is a horizontal stretch on several occasions here by this 49er offense. What that means is they're not stretching the field vertically, but horizontally. They're getting all their viable receivers out and spreading them across the width of the field.
3rd down and 5. They must get to the 39-yard line after a pump fake. Catch is made by Drone. First down and more. Sean Drone takes it all the way down to the Bears' 40-yard line. A 26-yard catch and run.
You call it route control. You send other routes out of the area so you can get routes this way, kind of peel and create that opening in the middle of the field and then get your running back into that area. If you're going to play man coverage, we'll send our other receivers, vertically down the field. What we're trying to do is open it up and slip our running back, Sean Drone, into that middle.
The delayed handoff to Cadet. Gain of 2 to the Bears' 38.
It's amazing when you watch an offense come out. I mean, San Francisco sputters for the first 3 drives. They really don't do anything. I mean, look at the difference. 5 yards in the first quarter, 112 yards since that time. It's amazing how they just fall into a rhythm.
2nd and 8. Catch is made underneath by Cadet. He was ruled down.
Again, that ability to catch, the length of time to become a runner.
Ruled an incomplete pass.
Yeah, ruled incomplete pass.
Must get both feet down, have possession, and then become a runner.
Good play defensively by the Bears to strip that out, create the incomplete.
3rd down and 8. Gabbert's pass off the mark, intended for Drone.
That's really the first time I've seen Blaine Gabbert affected by the rush that time. We saw the one earlier in this game where he was really comfortable moving through the pocket, extended, and got out and ran for the first down himself. On this one right here, this whole pocket is starting to collapse down around him. There was really nowhere, there was no avenue for him to escape up the field.
Mariani back deep for Chicago. So it will be a touchback.
Did Quentin Patton have that back into the field of play?
Touchback. First down, Chicago at the 20-yard line.
Let's take another look.
Let's see if he leaps. First, he's got to be in the field of play. As he leaps, he does. I think he got that back out. Here's where the touchback comes right here. Looked like it touched a Bear player, and that was a live ball. Well, we had a challenge by head coach Jim Tomsula.
San Francisco is challenging the rule on the field of a touchback.
And this is one of the most incredible plays I've seen by Quentin Patton to keep this ball out of the end zone. Watch, he's going to leap. He's in the field of play. He's going to leap and get it back in the field of play. Mike Pereira, where do we go from here?
Well, now you got to follow the bouncing ball because he legally threw it back into the field of play. Now watch to see if anybody gets clear control, which they really don't. Ball is loose, tried to be recovered, goes into the end zone. So therefore, really what you have is a touchback, and I see no reason why it's changed from anything but a touchback.
Several opportunities for the 49ers, whether you're going to get first and goal inside the 2, or here, a couple opportunities for a touchdown. And they're unable to convert that. It goes through the back. And what a play by Quentin Patton. I've seen a lot of guys try to do that over the years. That's the first time I've seen somebody actually pull that one off. With the ball that far into the end zone, to be able to go in, get it, still legally be able to touch it and get it back for an opportunity to down it.
Perhaps Tomsula felt that the Bears should be given the football on the 1-yard line, although it did not look like they had possession.
Yeah, as Mike Pereira said, nobody had clear possession once the ball came back into the field of play. And even though it was touched by the Bears and became an opportunity for the Niners to recover the fumble, they missed that opportunity.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a touchback. The kicking team player did not possess the ball before the ball was thrown out of bounds on the kick. First down, Chicago at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, but the one part that Jim Tomsula is talking about was correct. You know, Quentin Patton does get it back to this point for the opportunity for the 49ers to recover. But as you can see, they missed that opportunity. It goes through the back of the end zone for just the touchback.
All right, so the Bears take over first and 10 from the 20-yard line. And this is Forte out to the 22 for a gain of 2. Timeout taken by the 49ers with 3:01 on the clock here in the second quarter.
The ebbs and flow of the game and being able to respond to the situations as they unfold, a huge opportunity for Jim Tomsula and his group right there to really take advantage of a tremendous play. They missed that opportunity. Now, what does their defense do when they come out and try to reestablish?
We're going to go back to Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. Mike, what about the illegal touch element of the play because a 49er touched the ball first, Quentin Patton in the end zone?
Well, but still, I understand he touched it first, but where was the touch spot? I mean, you had the potential of a touch spot coming at the 1-yard line where he actually leaped from, but then you had another player touch it. You actually had a Chicago player touch it, which I think took away that spot. Good point, though. We need to go back and take a quick look at that.
All right, here's Cutler to the outside, and that pass is incomplete. So it will be 3rd down and 8 for Chicago.
And here's a huge snap for this Niners defense. Missed an opportunity on that potential, on that punt play. Now can they get this Chicago Bear offense off the field?
Movement prior to the snap.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So, Mike, what I'm asking is, because of what is referred to as an illegal touch by San Francisco, it could not have been a 49ers touchdown, correct?
Could not have been a 49ers touchdown.
Right.
Could not have been, but Chicago could have taken the ball at that spot, obviously, of the illegal touch, but the touchback is a much better situation.
Right, but once the 49ers, once Patton touched it, it could not have been a touchdown for San Francisco had they recovered in the end zone.
There was no way that San Francisco was going to get a touchdown because the ball would have been placed at the 1 yard line.
Thanks, Mike. Here's Forte. And he picks up a first down, gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
Well, right there, number one, the hard count by Jay Cutler on the previous play to make that a much more manageable 3rd down situation. And yeah, absolutely try and get Matt Forte in a favorable matchup out of the backfield.
Now Cutler fires, and it's Jeffrey who makes the catch at the 49-yard line for another Bears first down.
And whether it's series to series or just within a series, how an offense all of a sudden gets that first down and that rhythm and that momentum shift in their favor.
Bears with all 3 of their timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Cutler fires downfield and overthrows Jeffrey with Acker defending.
Well, that's definitely a matchup that Jay Cutler feels confident in. If he can get Alshon Jeffrey on the outside against Kenneth Acker, he's going to give him the opportunity to go make some plays.
Jeffrey with 2 catches today, 45 yards. 2nd down and 10. Across midfield, it's Forte. And he's tackled at the 47-yard line by Tart. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning in Chicago. 13-13 game. Get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter. Bears and 49ers tied at 13. 3rd down and 6. Bears must get to the 41 for a first down. Timeout taken by Jay Cutler. What's coming up during halftime, Kurt Menefee?
I'm on the deck of the USS Missouri, and coming up on this very special Visa Halftime show, we will be live on sacred ground here at Pearl Harbor as we have been all day. This area, like so much of America, protected by the brave men and women of the U.S. Armed Services. And what could be more American on a Sunday than talking a little football? We'll break down all the games for you on the Visa Halftime show live from Pearl Harbor.
All right, Kurt, we look forward to it. Bears now with 2 timeouts remaining. 3rd down and 6. Cutler on 3rd down. He throws, and the catch is made for a first down by Jeffrey. And then he lost the ball at the end of the play, but it is ruled a reception. 1st and 10 from the 31.
Now you bring pressure, so you're going to have a one-on-one situation, and it does look like it comes loose at the end of that.
The previous play is under review.
Looks like his knee was down with possession before that ball came out.
Now remember, we are in the final 2 minutes, so this will be a booth review. Jerome Boger will take a look.
Looks like it was moving there. So again, this comes down to that call that we've seen all season long. Catch, no catch. Does he have possession, length of time, the opportunity to become a runner?
it will be either a first down at the 32-yard line or 4th and 6 from the 47.
It's a nice job by Tremaine Brock continuing to work to try and free that ball. The Niners brought a blitz in that situation. Alshon Jeffrey then gets an opportunity to be one-on-one on the outside. I'm just always impressed. The hand-to-eye by the defenders, the ability to get that hand on top of the football, whether it's guys punching it out, being able to reach in and get a hold of it, pull that out. Something that's definitely taught on all these teams in the NFL, how they attack the football. And just to give you an idea, we've been watching this in slow motion, how hard this is in real time for our officials out on the field.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field is reversed to an incomplete pass. The receiver did not maintain control of the football going to the ground. It will be 4th down on the 47-yard line Chicago has. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 56 seconds.
All right, let's head back to Los Angeles. Mike Pereira. Mike, do you agree?
Yes, I do, because he is a receiver going to the ground. He got control and 2 feet, but never the element of time for that process to complete the catch. Therefore, he's going to the ground, and he must hold on to the ball when he hits the ground. And that's why it was a reversal.
Okay, thanks, Mike. We're keeping Mike on his toes.
The punt one is, whew, there's a lot of things going on in there. Good job cleaning that one up, Kenny.
And a terrific job by Mike as well. He knows the rules as well as anybody.
You got that. That is absolutely correct. A great asset for us every Sunday.
They are adjusting the sticks, yard markers, as the Bears get set to punt it away.
And we've got one of the gunners on the outside. Josh Phillips is waving inside.
Ellington back deep. Low snap from the new long snapper Scales. This one stays out of the end zone and will be down around the 6. Well, this weekend, as we pay tribute to the events at Pearl Harbor and honor those who selflessly serve our country, Fox Sports is proud to support Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our nation. For more information, visit FoxSportsSupports.com.
Well, we've seen the bombs from Pearl Harbor. What a great job by our crew, our pregame crew, getting out there, having the opportunity to be there and share that with us. It's a lot to ask. Great job by everybody that's out there in Pearl Harbor.
Absolutely. Here's Drone. Drone takes it out to the 12-yard line. 49ers have one timeout.
Not a sense of urgency here in a 2-minute scenario. Intent to just stay in normal rhythm. We've seen this offense function and be more consistent when they have gotten slid into that up-tempo style throughout the second quarter here.
Bears will get the ball first following halftime as we approach 1 minute remaining. Second down and 4. Again, it is Drone. He stays on his feet.
Expect a timeout right away from Chicago in this situation.
Now the timeout is taken with 52 seconds remaining. Each team with one timeout. And the 49ers put together that one long drive. Picked up 7 first downs on that drive. They have a defensive touchdown. And looking for the first road win of the season, tied at 13.
Well, we talked about consistently. Unfortunately for the 49ers, one of the consistent things was their poor play in the first quarter. Their defense finally gets a touchdown for the team, but the offense still doesn't have a touchdown all season in the first quarter. They got into a rhythm in the second quarter, playing a little bit of up-tempo. Surprised right there that maybe not a little bit more sense of urgency. You know what Chicago's going to do. They've got 2 timeouts in their pocket. They're waiting to see what you're going to do. You're going to get that one after the second down play. You're going to get that timeout to see what you're going to do on third down. So I would like to see San Francisco be a little bit more aggressive in that situation.
Daniel Kilgore in the game as an extra blocker. His first action of the season, coming off surgery. And Drone looks to have a first down.
Tell you what, that's one of those plays during the course of the game that everybody's going to forget about. But if the Chicago Bears stop the San Francisco 49ers in that situation, here comes your last timeout. Where does Jay Cutler end up on the field? No timeouts, but some pretty good playmakers on the outside. So well done, Sean Drone, moving those chains.
Here's Drone, trying to cut it to the outside as time winds down. And this first half comes to an end in Chicago. Blaine Gabbert and the 49ers fell behind 6-0, a defensive touchdown, and then each team with a touchdown in the second quarter.
Well, we talked about San Francisco's offense still not having a first down or touchdown in the first quarter, but their defense does. Great job by Jimmy Ward right there, trusting what he saw. He jumped that bubble screen. And then this is a great effort by Matt Forte. Had a couple of runs like this in the first half. Didn't look like there was much there, but just continued to work that time for a touchdown. And then Sean Drone, we talk about him during the course of that first half. What a great find. The difference that he's made for this running game for the San Francisco 49ers.
So the Bears and 49ers are tied at 13 in Chicago. Time now for the Visa halftime report. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan from Soldier Field in Chicago. Defensive touchdown for the 49ers. Matt Forte into the end zone, rocking the baby. And then Sean Drone as the 49ers tied the game. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. As we get set to begin the second half, 49ers only 5 yards of offense in the first quarter, but they turned things around in the second quarter with 7 first downs on one drive.
And obviously the interception, the pick six, and then look at the third down for the San Francisco 49ers. 2 of 20 coming into this game, the last 2, 5 of 9 today. So much better on third down and checking it down sometimes and letting the athletes run with the ball after the catch.
Thompson lets it go through the end zone. So Jay Cutler and the Bears will start from the 20-yard line. Huge game for Chicago, 5-6, right in the thick of the wild card race in the NFC.
Yeah, an opportunity to get back to 500, which is their goal since they started out 0-3. And let me tell you what, they've missed a few opportunities today. Great field position to start this game. Only get 6 points out of that. Then all of a sudden you get the pick six. All that momentum shifts to San Francisco. They do a nice job of keeping that for a while. We'll wait and see. Nothing's really changed. We sit at 13-13 at halftime. So this game is sitting right there. Which team wants to go out and grab it and take it?
First and 10 from the 20-yard line. Play action. Cutler will check it down to Forte for a gain of 5 as we head downstairs and check in with Laura.
Kenny, I'm going to start with injuries because I'm mostly talking concussions, and as I said earlier, the league has really tried to clamp down on that after Case Keenum. Michael Wilhoit, Vance McDonald, both out for the 49ers with concussion. We saw NaVorro Bowman leave. I'll come back in a second, Kenny.
Bowman on the field now, Laura. He was not out there for the first play.
And why he did leave, because the league is taking this so seriously, as well as the 49ers, he was hit, tried to go right back into the huddle, and the doctors pulled him out because he was shaken up. They took him into the locker room where they underwent concussion protocol with him. He's back on the field because he passed all those tests, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Laura. Cutler on the sneak. On 3rd down and 1, picks up a Bears first down.
We'll go back and take a look at the play that Navarro Bowman got into concussion protocol. Here he is right here. Now track him. He's going to get a knee to the side of the head from Quinton Dial, his own teammate. He's down low trying to make the tackle as he's trailing. Quinton Dial's trailing. That knee hits Navarro Bowman in the side of the head.
So great to see Bowman back out on the field for the 49ers as Cutler swings it out to Martellus Bennett. Ball came loose. There is a flag. It's Mariani on the recovery. And slow to get up is Bennett.
Very slow to get up. He's not up yet. And we talked about just the 5th time.
Off offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Just the 5th time this season the Bears offense has had their big 3 with Bennett, Jeffrey, and Forte. And we'll go to the top of the screen. Joshua Bellamy is who the hold is going to be called on. Got those hands on the outside, get them on the inside of the framework. You get them on the outside, it's so much easier for the official to make that call. Keep your arms inside. Tough to see actually what happened to Martellus Bennett on that. Couple of big hits right here. We'll see.
So the medical staff continues to tend to Martellus Bennett.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK. And by Audi. Challenge all givens.
Tie game in Chicago as Martellus Bennett has headed over to the Bears sidelines, injured on the last play. Following the penalty, it'll be first down and 14 from the 27. 3 receivers to the right. Cutler steps up on 1st and 14. And he takes it all the way out to the 36-yard line for a gain of 9.
Just the quick decision making gives you the opportunity for a nice run. The 49ers walking their middle linebackers up into that mix. Protection breaks down. And one of the things that Jay Cutler has always done is when he's going to run the football, he makes a very quick decision. And he's had some nice positive gains throughout his career.
Second down and 5. Give to Forte. So it will be 3rd down and 2. Ian Williams on the tackle with Quinton Dial.
I really do like the style of offense that Adam Gase has brought here. I like the run-first mentality. We had an opportunity to visit with Kyle Long. The offensive linemen are excited about it. You know what your identity is. You know what to expect week in and week out when that game plan is being put together. You know you're going to have the opportunity to win your one-on-one battles in a physical way.
On 3rd and 2, it is Forte. And he picks up the Bears first down out to the 43-yard line.
Just such a sense of confidence in those situations, your short yardage and your goal line situations where the run game becomes important. We've seen so many teams in the NFL switch to more spread styles, empty backfields in traditional short yardage situations.
Forte replaced by Langford. 1st and 10 from the 43. 3 receivers to the right side. Cutler's pass intended for Jeffrey. As we head to Los Angeles for a game break with Mike Hill. Mike.
Guys, believe it or not, Bucks in the playoff mix trying to get to 500 on the season against the struggling Falcons. Doug Martin up and over for the 1-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion, no good, but they take the lead 13-12 in the third. Kenny moves back in.
Tampa Bay only 2 wins last year, looking to get to 500. Big day for Doug Martin as the Bucks lead the Falcons by 1.
And this is another one of those elements that Adam Gase has brought more control at the line of scrimmage for Jay Cutler.
On 2nd and 6 is Langford. And Jeremy Langford has a first down and more all the way to the San Francisco 43-yard line. So the rookie out of Michigan State gains 14.
And a lot of times you think that it's going to be a pass play when you change that, but this time they're going to give it to Jeremy Langford, and the confidence right there running through the middle, to the ability to get past Navarro Bowman through that little gap right there.
There's Langford again. 9 more yards.
Small guy, trusts his offensive lineman, presses the hole, able to fit through those narrow spots.
Second and 1, it's Langford.
A lot of different things in the run game, too. We've seen Matt Slauson pull that time. Patrick Omame on the pull from the right guard spot, leading the way.
12th play of the drive for Chicago, and they stick with Langford to the 24-yard line. Gerald Hodges brings him down 5 more yards.
And they've got the Niners on their heels with a commitment to the run in this situation. And you've got a 2-down lineman, multiple linebackers set out there. So the matchup from a size standpoint is going to favor the Bears' offensive line.
Martellus Bennett back on the field for Chicago. This is Forte, and he gets tripped up.
It's funny talking to Coach Gase about all the different elements of this offense, and he said one of the big things he learned from Peyton Manning, and it was the adjustment to the run game. And Peyton Manning, he would get on his offensive lineman if it was not a big productive run.
On 3rd and 3, they keep it on the ground with Forte, and he cannot get there.
Got a 49er down as we take a look at this highlight. Matt Forte, good stop right there by the Niners.
'59, Aaron Lynch is the injured 49er.
Let go with that left arm. Aaron Lynch making it to the sideline, and it looks like we have another potential concussion situation. He comes in to make the tackle, and here comes a teammate, Quentin Dial, again, helmet-to-helmet contact on that tackle. And you'll see him kind of release with the left arm as he's going down, so get an update for you.
Robbie Gould out to attempt a 40-yard field goal from the left hash. Gould's kick is no good. Wide to the left. So the Bears and 49ers remain tied at 13.
Today's game is sponsored by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Back in Chicago, 49ers start from their 30 following the missed field goal. And Gabbert will be taken down back at the 19-yard line by Eddie Goldman, the rookie out of Florida State.
Coming right off the nose, you'll see 91 right there, going to push the pocket, and Blaine Gabbert's got to feel that. You got to feel that one coming. His eyes are out to the right. Should catch him in his peripheral right there. By the time he sees and feels that pressure, it's too late. Eddie Goldman's on top of him.
3.5 sacks this season for Goldman. Loss of 8. Second down at 18. Here's Troll. Make something out of nothing. You talked about getting the ball into the hands of playmakers and then letting them run.
I tell you what, this is a heck of a feel. I mean, I still don't know how he gets away from the second defender. You're going to watch at the beginning, but then it's going to be Jonathan Anderson right there to have that feel. You're kind of selling Willie Young on that screen element, but boy, to have that feel with your back turned that the defender was right there.
Gain of 12, third down and 6. And that pass could not be handled by the tight end, Blake Bell, so the 49ers will punt it away.
We talked about the third down struggles coming into today. A much better job in the first half. Not so much here to start the second. Press is up working against Shane McClellan. Just got to make that catch. Looks like it's thrown in a good spot. Blake Bell just didn't complete the play.
Bell, the rookie out of Oklahoma, so Mariani back deep. Pinion waiting inside his 20. Good kick. Mariani all the way back to the 8. And he'll be taken down shy of the 20, a 59-yard punt. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, and Laura Oakman from Soldier Field in Chicago. Bears at 5-6 in the playoff hunt in the NFC.
And we've lost several players today. Aaron Lynch going in now. And at the top, we talked about the respect that people have for Jim Tomsula. That's one of the reasons why I have a lot of respect for him. He understands the players. He knows how important the art of the game. He understands the risks out there.
First and 10 from the 19-yard line. Hand off to Jeremy Langford as we head down to the field. Check in with Laura.
Darryl was talking earlier about this thin linebacker core, which is getting thinner. They already lost Michael Wilhoit for the game with an ankle. Aaron Lynch is now in the locker room undergoing concussion protocol. I've said that too much today, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Laura. And Navarro Bowman has returned, as we saw earlier. Flag on the play.
Illegal formation. Offense. The tackle on the left side was uncovered. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Now, those are not going to make John Fox very happy. Those are mental lapses. Lining up in the correct formation, making sure it's a legal formation. Some penalties you can kind of look at and go, I can understand that one. That's not one of them.
Forces the Bears back to the 18-yard line. Second down and 11. On the delay, it's Langford. Not much. Bowman and Williams combined to wrap up Jeremy Langford.
One of those snaps during the course of the game. Third quarter just kind of laying there for somebody to take control of it. Looked like Chicago was going to, with that opening drive with the missed field goal. Can the Niners defense get off the field right here on this third and long?
Bears must get to the 29 for a first down. They do, as the catch is made by Josh Bellamy at the 36-yard line, a 16-yard connection.
Well, nice job by the Bears front to give him the time to do this, because this takes a long time for everything to develop. You're running the deep in route right there. You got to cross a couple of windows until he finds Joshua Bellamy open. And how about, he's one of the guys that John Fox talked a lot about. You know, one of the guys, hey, he doesn't have the measurables, he doesn't have the breakaway speed, the height, all these different things that a lot of people are looking at. He's just a football guy. He loves the game, has a passion for the game. Those are the type of guys I want to get on this roster.
First and 10 from the 36. The second effort by Langford, who gains a couple. Five minutes remaining, third quarter in Chicago. Bears and 49ers are tied at 13.
Used to be hard enough when you just had to worry about Matt Forte when you played the Chicago Bears. Jeremy Langford having a nice day.
Bears with 134 yards on the ground. Langford out to the 43.
And the other part of this, we talk about how much the offensive line loves to be involved with an offense that's committed to running the ball, but you got to sell those wide receivers on it. So let's not forget about those guys on the outside. If you're going to have an effective running game, you've got to have guys out on the perimeter working, and this receiver group has done a nice job.
The Bears without two of their wide receivers, Eddie Royal and Marquise Wilson. Bellamy's done a nice job. We've seen Cameron Meredith. Third down and 3. This is Mariani. And he picks up a Chicago first down across midfield.
And there's an opportunity for the guys on the outside to block for one of the guys in their group. Just going to kind of bubble out here. You got to get blocks right here and here on this play for it to be successful. Alshon Jeffrey, Joshua Bellamy, good job out front. Continues to be a difference maker on third down, Mark Mariani.
New set of downs for the Bears. From midfield, Cutler off the fake. No gain on the play. Bears have now run 22 plays here in the third quarter. The 49ers only 3.
And if you're going to run the zone read, eventually Jay Cutler's got to pull it and keep it and see what he can do there. Jaquiski Tartt's not going to let him get any advantage on him in the run game.
On second and 10, the play is blown dead. False start.
Offense number 86, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Zach Miller.
Yeah, and like the illegal formation earlier in this drive that they were able to overcome. A little early on that cadence.
Second down and 15. Three receivers to the right. Cutler's pass gathered in by Forte. And he is taken down by Navarro Bowman to Los Angeles for a game break. Mike Hill.
All right, it's the Cardinals, it's the Rams, and the Cardinals starting to pull away. It's Carson Palmer to the rookie David Johnson. It's 8th touchdown of the season, 17-3. Cardinals with the lead in the third. Fellas, back to you.
Arizona looking for win number 10. Averaging 32 points per game. They beat the 49ers last week. Third down and 12. Bears must get to the San Francisco 40. Cutler throws. Jeffrey has to come back to make the catch. Stopped about 3 yards shy of the marker.
Strong hands at the point of the catch. But you just, with that penalty, it's going to push everything off a little bit. He pushes beyond, but now he's got to work back to make the catch because he feels the coverage from Tremaine Brock behind him. Look at the strong hands at the point of the catch.
So the Bears will punt it away. Ellington back deep. Fair catch called for by Ellington at the 15 with under a minute remaining. Third quarter still tied in Chicago. Final minute of the third quarter here in Chicago. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman. 49ers have run only 3 plays here in the third quarter, but we remain tied. Bears have run 24. From the 15-yard line on first down, it's Ellington. And he is met immediately by Adrian Amos, the rookie out of Penn State.
And we've talked about momentum swings and momentum shifts during the course of a game. I mean, look at what has happened to San Francisco. first quarter, third quarter blues. They got onto that nice roll in the second quarter, 13-13 at half at that point where we stand right now. But definitely not that consistency they were hoping to have.
49ers now facing a 3rd and long as time winds down in this third quarter. No scoring on either side in the third, as the teams will head to the opposite end of the field. From Soldier Field in Chicago, with the Bears and 49ers tied at 13. Have we gone back into the time machine?
That's a great lookalike right there. The hair and everything.
Yeah.
That's not a wig either. No. That's his hair.
We start the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 9 for San Francisco in a tie game.
Big snap here. Big play for this Niners offense.
And the play is blown dead.
I'm going to get to Andrew Tiller on a false start.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Sometimes you'll see the guard trying to help out the center with a little tap and everything, but I think we got a little bit more, a little bit of rock back. I'm losing my balance. I'm not trying to help out the center.
So following the penalty, 3rd down and 14. They must get to the 25-yard line for a first down. Gabbert in trouble. Down he goes.
Not a chance for Blaine Gabbert on this one. You have rushers free again inside Eddie Goldman.
Goldman's 2nd sack today.
Yeah. Blaine Gabbert, knee down, balls down, then gets bent awkwardly over the pile.
So Pinion is pinned deep in his end zone. Mariani waiting at midfield. Fair catch at the 47-yard line of the 49ers. Excellent field position once again for the Bears. A look at the wild card picture in the NFC. Falcons are losing to the Buccaneers. Giants are winning. Bears are tied.
And that's what the whole premise for the Bears approach has been. Let's get to 500, and then we'll see what happens in this crazy wild card hunt in the NFC. And you've also got Seattle handling Minnesota very easily, so that's all going to shift again in the NFC North at the top.
Bears start from the San Francisco 46. Cutler handing off to Forte.
Well, the Bears just absolutely dominated the third quarter, but they got 0 points out of it. We saw this at the start of the game. They had short fields on their opening 2 drives, and they got 2 field goals, and then the pick 6 ties the game up. They've got to take advantage of this opportunity. You cannot continue to make the mistakes when you're presented great field position by your opposition.
2nd down and 9. Again, it is Forte. 1st down and more. There is a flag. Now a second flag has been thrown as Forte is forced out of bounds at the 19-yard line after a gain of 26. 2 flags on the field.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the offense. Holding, offense, number 83. That penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Number 83, Martellus Bennett, the tight end. Gonna be right here at the end, and your second one should come right here. Right at the point of attack, so obviously you get Move it to the outside. You've got your hand. Player goes to the ground. Easy call for the officials on a big run by Matt Forte.
26-yard run gets erased. Second down and 19.
Louisiana, watch this. Louisiana, watch this. And they come left. They go left.
Cutler on second and long. Has the pass batted down by Quinton Dial.
That's a nice job by Quinton Dial because they're gonna blitz. You're gonna send Navarro Bowman up. You're just gonna back off and read the quarterback's eyes right here. Get into that throwing lane, time it, elevate, knock it down.
Spoke to Dial yesterday. Asked him what he has in store for today. He said, I just don't want to hit Cutler as I did last year. He was fined $16,000.
Coming off the big one last week against Carson Palmer as well.
Right, fine for that one as well. Third down and 19. Play clock winding down. Cutler steps up and fires downfield. Too far for Jeffrey.
Boy, he had it. Everything was there. You got the separation and just misses Alshon Jeffrey. Coming off the top of the screen. Working against Tremaine Brock. Sitting on it a little bit, expecting something near the sticks, and that allows Alshon Jeffrey to run by him. Jay Cutler knows he missed an opportunity for a touchdown there.
So the penalties hurt the Bears. Ellington, fair catch, 10-yard line. So Jay Cutler taking a shot downfield. Cutler unable to connect with Jeffrey.
Today's game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tied at 13, early fourth quarter. Soldier Field in Chicago. Blaine Gabbert and the 49ers start from their 10-yard line. Gabbert throws on first down and sails away from the intended receiver, Torrey Smith.
And the timing just not there on that route.
On second and 10 this time, Gabbert connects with Smith, the ex-Baltimore Raven, for a gain of 8. Tracy Porter the tackle.
Early flag on the opposite side. Looks like this one's coming back.
Illegal shift, offense. The entire offense did not get set for a complete second. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Trying to get back into that up-tempo style of offense, that style we did see San Francisco get into in the second quarter. You saw the disparity in the yards second quarter compared to first and third, trying to get back into that, but not everybody gets set.
Second down and 15 following the penalty. Gabbert from the end zone, over the middle. Catch is made by the tight end, Bell, for a short gain.
We have seen the Chicago Bear front getting pressure on Blaine Gabbert, and a lot of times just with their 4 down, which means they can drop the other 7 guys back into coverage. That time Pernell McPhee coming right up the middle.
Fans on their feet here in Chicago. Third down and 10. Gabbert must get to the 20, out of bounds at the 16.
And there's confusion, and Alex Boone is leaving the field, still talking to his offensive lineman. Joe Staley was really late coming out of his stance. I mean, Alex Boone's right here. Here's Joe Staley next to him. And he's beat immediately by Lamar Houston. And as the offensive line is walking off the field, they're in conversation. So they did not have everything in place pre-snap on that last play.
Joe Staley, who has gone to the last 4 Pro Bowls. Pinion again punting from deep in his own territory. Taken at the 42 and nowhere to go for Mariani. Net first by Jimmy Ward, 42-yard punt. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award honors players who have significantly impacted both the game and their communities. That's Anquan Boldin of the 49ers and Matt Forte of the Bears. They are the finalists for these 2 franchises. What will be announced at NFL Honors on February 6th. So congratulations to Anquan Boldin and Matt Forte. Last year's winner, Thomas Davis of the Carolina Panthers. Cutler on first down, fires downfield and could not connect with Bellamy.
Well, we've talked about the commitment to the run, and now let's play off that. Let's find some way to use the run to our advantage to get the ball down the field. This is just straight drop back, but where's the play action? I mean, if I'm San Francisco, I have to honor that. Working from the outside, here comes Josh Bellamy, 11, breaking to the inside. A lot of contact going on out there. A little bit late getting to the point that Jay Cutler expected him to be.
This is the 4th time the Bears have started a drive at their 40-plus. They've only come away with 2 field goals. Langford, nothing. Jay break, Los Angeles to Mike Hill.
Guys, you know Fox NFL Sunday at Pearl Harbor today. How about the pride of Hawaii? Marcus Mariota, the rookie quarterback doing things. You know he's got skills. You know he's got great legs. And, oh, yeah, this ability. 87 yards on the run for the touchdown. Titans reclaim that lead, 35-32 over Jacksonville in the 4th.
Wow, 87 yards. Marcus Mariota. Bears looking for a big play. 3rd down and 10. Cutler in trouble. Wrapped up, and down he goes. Ball comes loose. Jaquiski Tartt with the sack, and Cutler is shaken up.
And fortunate that they did not get a penalty for the slam on the quarterback in that situation, but they're bringing pressure in. They're going to bring 2 people we're going to have here, and then we're going to add this late. So that recognizes Jeremy Langford, turns back, but nobody there for Jaquiski Tartt, and the slam to the ground. Lucky there is not a flag on that play. Should have had a flag.
Second sack for Tartt, the rookie out of Sanford. Ellington takes it out to 20. Down at the 21. So with 9.5 remaining, after the sack and slam of Jay Cutler, 49ers get the ball back in a tie game.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
49ers get the ball back in a tie game as we take a look at what took place while we were away after Cutler's head hit the ground pretty hard.
Yeah, and that's your unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant that's there with the trainer for the Bears staff. So after that slam, Jay Cutler obviously showing some signs that his head hit the turf. That's the way the program is designed to work.
Sean Trone out to the 29.
So we're going to go back and show you the play that Jaquiski Tartt should have been flagged for. I mean, this is an easy call. It's a missed call on the field. The slam of the quarterback to the ground. You can see the head hit the ground. Now, the response by Jay Cutler, you can see that there. He goes to the sideline, gets on the phones immediately, but he is being followed now by the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant that's on the sideline along with the training staff.
Keeping a close eye on him. On 2nd and 3, it's Miller as we check in with Laura.
And you're talking about how it works. This is working to perfection because he's been on the phone the entire time up to the booth and telling doctors, I'm fine, and waving them off. His own doctors, his own athletic trainers, it's the independent ones who are making him having the conversation. That's how it's supposed to work.
Sure is. Thanks, Laura. Kilgore in as an extra blocker. On first down, Bravaris Cadet.
And with this field position that Chicago has had, Kenny, they're not taking advantage of it from the perspective of getting points in separating or getting a lead, but they've been keeping the 49ers offense bottled in, back inside their 15, their 10-yard line. They finally got an opportunity here around the 20. Can Blaine Gabbert get this offense finally moving here in the second half?
After they picked up only 5 yards in the third quarter. Gabbert under pressure on 2nd and 9. He throws, and it's Bolden. Anquan Bolden who makes the catch at the 37.
He is faster than I think even the defense of the Chicago Bears expects. I mean, you watch the protection break down. Look at Willie Young right there. Blaine Gabbert just separates. Nobody works the sidelines like Anquan Bolden. He has such presence and knowing when to get those feet down. One of the best in the league at it.
988 career receptions. Now Gabbert on 3rd and 4 overthrows Bolden.
Well, here's the opposite. You finally get into kind of a manageable 3rd down situation, and we're going deep on it. So Anquan Bolden coming out of that slot area. Let's see what 84 Blake Bell working that. Is there an opportunity there for a first to continue this drive? But he decides to go up over the top for Anquan Bolden.
So Pinion out to punt yet again. Mariani from the 12. Well, we've seen the Bears with terrific field position. Not this time as Jay Cutler and the offense comes back out. Back in Chicago, we have been tied at 13 since just under 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
Well, the Bears have had all the opportunities. They started the second half with a nice drive, missed the field goal. The 49ers have been backed up, haven't been able to establish any type of rhythm offensively. What does Jay Cutler do here? And we'll keep an eye on him. Haven't hit his head on that last series.
Well, Cutler has been cleared to return. Hands it off to Matt Forte. And Forte still on his feet, spins and picks up a first down and more out to the 32, 15 yards on the ground, his longest run today.
Yeah, just very smooth, just fun to watch. It just, the patience, the slides. You know, I've said this a number of times when I watch Matt Forte run. The one guy that jumps to my mind is Gale Sayers. You know, the guy who played here with the Chicago Bears. He was a very unique style. If there's anybody in the league that's close to that and it has that flow, that smoothness, it's Matt Forte.
Forte with 83 yards on the ground. Also has 4 receptions for 30 yards. From the 32. Not much this time as Kenneth Acker comes up to make the tackle.
Kenneth Acker coming up to clean up for Jaquiski Tartt, who is the first person there to slow Matt Forte down. Typical day at the office for Matt Forte. You see him over 100 yards combined, receiving, rushing quite a bit.
Missed 3 games with the knee injury, returned last Thursday in Green Bay. Bears coming off the win over the Packers on Thanksgiving. Tied here at home with under 6 minutes remaining in regulation. On 2nd and 10 off the play fake, Cutler was in trouble, able to get rid of it to Langford. And Langford is finally tackled by Hodges at the 39, setting up a 3rd down and 3.
That's a nice job by Jay Cutler because he knows there's pressure coming, but he also knows he has Jeremy Langford, who's going to be an option rather quickly. He bides himself a little bit of time and is able to dump it off to his running back.
Big play, 3rd down and 2 for Chicago as we approach 5 minutes remaining. Cutler moving to his right, directing traffic on 3rd down. He throws and making an adjustment, and then the catch is Alshon Jeffrey at the San Francisco 30.
We'll start off at the start of the play with Jeremy Langford stepping up and picking up the blitzing linebacker gives Jay Cutler the opportunity to step outside the pocket. He finds Alshon Jeffrey down the sideline.
30-yard completion. Now Cutler on first down, complete to Mariani. And he takes it all the way down to the 3, lost his helmet. The tackle made by Brock, setting up first and goal.
You gotta love the guy. And loses his job as a punt returner. Now has an expanded role as a receiver. Jay Cutler has a tremendous amount of respect for him. All the things that they ask him to do. And here's that type of play we've been waiting for. If you're going to commit to the run and you're going to have success with the run, that should allow play action to be there. So that little run fake inside, Jay Cutler gets outside, extends, and then he finds his receiver Mark Mariani coming across.
26 yards. Barry in the backfield. Push run, an extra blocker. As Cutler hands it off to Carey. And he will take it in for a Bears touchdown with a defensive lineman, Mitch Unrein, leading the way at fullback.
One of the better big guys that you put into the backfield, Mitch Unrein, defensive lineman, put him back there. You can see the athleticism, but he runs with good pad level. Not the easiest thing to do, and a good battle won by Kadeem Carey there at the goal line with Navarro Bowman.
First NFL touchdown for Kadeem Carey. Second year back out of Arizona. He was the Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year 2 seasons ago. 4th round pick by the Bears. Gold adds the extra point. 20-13 Chicago. 2 big plays, 30 yards to Jeffrey, 26 yards to Mariani, set it up.
Yeah, after overcoming the big run that was brought back by penalty, the Mariani play was great. We've been waiting for that through that third quarter. We've talked about this running game that the Bears have committed to and waiting for that play action pass element to come out of it. So there's an impressive drive right there. Now the response. You know, what is San Francisco going to do now? They have done virtually nothing since the end of the second quarter. And this second half has been dominated by the Bears, who just have not taken advantage of all their opportunities until that last drive.
6 plays, 83 yards. First score by either team since the second quarter. We've seen a heavy dose of Forte and Langford. It is their running mate, Carey, who gives the Bears the lead. San Francisco winless on the road. The only other team without a win on the road will be here next week, the Washington Redskins.
And you've got to get over that hurdle. You've had opportunities today, and the San Francisco 49ers haven't taken advantage of them. Bears finally do, but you're a team that's in transition. There's been a lot of change over the last year, and you're going through a process. And part of that is learning how to win on the road in tough situations. And the Niners have not crossed that hurdle yet this season.
And the Bears have only won once here at home in 5 tries. On the run, it's Ellington. There's a flag and then a second.
During the return, personal foul. During the return, personal foul, illegal low block, kicking team, number 11. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
Their special teams coach, Jeff Rogers. Penalty committed by Josh Bellamy.
Yeah, right there, right as you come in, right on that spot there. You cannot go low, even if you're getting down on that field, and you've got those wedge players that are coming out. You cannot go in and go low to take out a wedge player.
So the penalty yardage marked off. Blaine Gabbert has never won a road game outdoors in his NFL career. His only 2 road wins while with the Jaguars came at Indianapolis. Gabbert 16 of 26 today. And he will be taken down for the fourth time.
Willie Young coming in from the right side, working against Joe Staley. Switches from the power, the speed, the athleticism. These are 4-3 defensive ends. When you talk about who's on the outside, Willie Young, Lamar Houston, those types of guys, those are pure pass rushers.
A sack and a half for Young today as Gabbert hits Bolden, and he takes it out to the 40-yard line. So 3rd down and 6 coming up for the 49ers, who need to keep this drive alive. They trail by a touchdown.
And I would be having my eyes on Anquan Bolden. He's the one that I'm going to be looking to. Chicago, you know that they're thinking the exact same way. Anquan Bolden right here at the top of your screen in the slot.
They must get to the 46. Gabbert takes off, picks up a first down as he slides out to the 49-yard line.
Just great recognition. We talked about Jay Cutler and his quick decisions. Watch Blaine Gabbert on this. As soon as that middle of the field opens up, Shea McClellan moves to the outside. He sees that opportunity.
49ers get the snap away prior to the 2-minute warning as they rushed up to the line. Pass was intended for Bolden. So now we have hit the 2-minute warning in Chicago. Bears by 7.
Jim Tomsula is well aware of the criticism of him. He knows he's a small college coach, had an experience as a head coach in NFL Europe, but his guys love playing for him. He's just a regular guy. He's a football guy. I have always enjoyed my opportunities to sit down and talk X's and O's with him.
And his players absolutely love him. 2nd down and 10. Under 2 minutes remaining. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman in Chicago. Bears with a late touchdown lead the 49ers by 7. 3rd down and 3 coming up for Blaine Gabbert and San Francisco. Both quarterbacks 17 of 28. Puck picked off back in the first quarter, and it was returned for a touchdown by Jimmy Ward. 3rd down and 3. Gabbert picks up another first down with his feet. Still going. Gabbert will take it all the way into the end zone for a 49ers touchdown. 44 yards.
I tell you what, that is, you caught a guy who thinks you're going to slide, and Blaine Gabbert is moving up the middle of the field, and let's just see if Adrian Amos thinks he's going to slide on this one. He breaks through right there. He's going to get the first down. Oh, I think he's going to, no, it's just a good move in athleticism by Blaine Gabbert. I tell you watch him on film, I don't remember this much athleticism at Jacksonville, and he told us in our meeting with him, he has never felt this healthy in his entire career as he does right now.
Now remember, Phil Dawson had an extra point attempt blocked earlier. This one is good, so we are tied at 20 as we welcome another new audience to Chicago. Blaine Gabbert huffing and puffing following his longest career run. We know it's not the longest run by a quarterback today because we saw Marcus Mariota go for 87.
Yeah, but it was still awful nice. And here's a game where we hadn't had any points scored with about, just a little under 7 minutes remaining there in the second quarter. We just fell into this lull where opportunities for Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears with good field position couldn't take advantage of it. The Niners backed up, struggling to kind of keep that field position as best they could, and then the Bears on the previous series go down the field on a really nice drive to take a 7-point lead, and the Niners answer them right back.
They answer less than 2 minutes after the Chicago touchdown. So the Bears and 49ers now tied at 20 as we welcome another new audience to Soldier Field. Prior to this drive, the 49ers had only 26 yards in the second half. 6 plays, 64 yards to tie the game. And keep in mind that personal foul on the kickoff, which gave the 49ers much better field position.
Absolutely, absolutely, because they had been backed up the majority of their drives here in the second half.
So a minute 42 remaining. Tied at 20. Kickoff is taken out by Deontay Thompson. And Thompson is across midfield, still going.
A team that has struggled all season long in the return game covering gets hit again at about as bad a time as you possibly can, and this is a great job. I don't want to take anything away from the Bears kickoff return unit. Watch this thing open up. I mean, it is blocked very, very well.
A 74-yard return by the former Raven and Bill Deontay Thompson. So the Bears with a 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 28, already in field goal range. On first down, this is Kadeem Carey, who scored a touchdown moments ago to give Chicago the lead, and now the 49ers will use their first timeout.
We talked about that big lull without any points, and first it's the Bears on a very impressive drive. Kadeem Carey wins the battle at the goal line with Navarro Bowman, and then Blaine Gabbert, who's been under pressure from the edges, drops back, recognizes the middle of the field is open, and takes it all the way to the end zone.
A 44-yard touchdown run by Gabbert, starting his 4th game as a 49er, but then the 74-yard kickoff return by Deontay Thompson. So a minute 28 on the clock. San Francisco now with 2 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 10 for Jay Cutler and the Bears. This is Matt Forte. And now the 49ers will use their 2nd timeout. Tied at 6 after 1. Tied at 13 at the half. Now deadlocked at 20. Bears with just 1 home win. That was back in early October over the Oakland Raiders. 49ers have not won on the road.
The big thing is you fight that hard to get back to 2020, and then you allow one of the things that's been plaguing you all season long to come up again. They've really struggled with their coverage units and special teams, and Chicago takes advantage of that.
Third down and 10. Carey. And Kadeem Carey takes it inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. It's a Bears first down. On 3rd and 10, Carey gains 12.
How funny is it? We've talked about Matt Forte and Jeremy Langford all day, but it was Kadeem Carey with the touchdown on the last possession. And this is a huge conversion for the first down right here, because now this puts Chicago in control to take the clock all the way down for their field goal attempt. We talked about the commitment to the running game that Adam Gase has brought here to the Chicago Bears. Situations like this, whether it's the 4-minute, however you want to talk about it situationally, where the running game is important, there's so much confidence in this group to get into those situations and excel it.
So the 49ers are out of timeouts. A minute 16 remaining. Following the 74-yard return by Thompson. And then Carey gains 12, picking up a huge first down for Chicago. This is Carey. Navarro Bowman to tackle. 49ers cannot stop the clock.
We talked about coming into the game, the big thing for San Francisco was getting some consistency, and they wanted to go back to the performance they had last week against a very good Arizona Cardinal team. The effort, Joe Staley told us, it was like the energy of the opening game victory against the Minnesota Vikings. We haven't had that up until that point, and you expected a little bit more. The consistency wasn't there today to be able to come here to Chicago and beat a Bears team that's coming off all that confidence from their big win over the Packers at Lambeau Field.
49ers played the first-place Cardinals tough last week, lost by 6. Find themselves tied in the final minute. They're in Chicago. And now the Bears will use a timeout. Right after Gabbert's 44-yard touchdown run, the ensuing kickoff, 74-yard return by Thompson.
Yeah, and it's an issue with coverage, but you can't take away from the blocking by the Chicago Bears. They opened up a lane. They had seal blocks to the inside. They left Phil Dawson in a position where he was the only player that was going to stop that from being the large return. But credit Chicago's kickoff return unit. Just blocked very, very well designed. There was really nobody there once they broke that initial wall.
Nothing much Jim Tomsula can do at this point. San Francisco out of timeouts. 30 seconds remaining. Cutler will take a knee. Robbie Gould today has hit from 40 and 51. He also missed a 40-yard attempt in the third quarter. Bears will take the clock all the way down and use a timeout. Bears control the clock for 6 minutes early in the third quarter. And Gould was wide left from 40.
One of the opportunities we talked about that Chicago let slip through their fingers here in the second half. But again, the Chicago Bears, off to a tough start this year. They started out 0-3, and they've been trying to take the season week to week as they've gone through the changes with John Fox and his staff, learning new systems, trying to forge that roster of getting back to 500. Let's get back to 500 first, and then we'll see where that puts us. If Robbie Gould is able to convert this right here, they get to 6-6. This NFC wildcard picture is crazy right now.
Remember, a new long snapper. His first game as a Bear, Patrick Scales. 36-yard attempt. Patrick O'Donnell is the holder for the win. Gould's kick is no good. Wide to the left. And we are headed for overtime in Chicago.
Listen, game. We will now begin overtime.
They pulled this one pretty good to the left right off the start. We saw the other kick that he missed early in this half kind of drift. This one is wide left immediately. Looks like snap hold is good.
His second miss today. The potential game winner.
He knew it all along. It's been a crazy game. You've got both of these teams working through a ton of changes from 2014 to 2015. And you're trying to win football games. You're trying to take those next step as you change the culture of the team that you've inherited, get the right kind of players in, but still be competitive week in and week out. And there's issues on both sides for these teams. And this game has been a great example of all of that. We've had some good football. We've had some football that hasn't been so great. Opportunities that were there to be taken advantage of to make this game slide in one team's favor or the other.
Let me quickly explain the overtime rules. We will play one 15-minute overtime period. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball, except if the team that receives the opening kickoff scores a touchdown or the team that is first on defense scores a safety. The timing rules will be the same as in the fourth quarter. All replay challenges will come from the replay assistant. Each team will have 2 timeouts. San Francisco, again, by being the visiting team, you get to call the coin toss. The red H is heads. The NFL logo is tails. Make your decision. Now flip the coin. San Francisco has chosen heads. And it's heads. One other thing.
Kick that way.
If the game is tied at the end of 15 minutes, it will be declared a tie. San Francisco has won the toss and will receive.
So another opportunity for Blaine Gabbert and the 49ers. Overtime is next. Home teams 9-6 in overtime this season. 4 teams have scored a touchdown on their first possession. Bears lost in Detroit in overtime on a field goal back in mid-October. First overtime game for the Niners this season. Chicago had an opportunity to win it moments ago. Robbie Gould missing his second field goal attempt of the second half. 49ers won the overtime toss. This is Bruce Ellington. And Ellington is out to the 40-yard line. A big return, setting up terrific field position for Blaine Gabbert and the 49ers.
Boy, I tell you, Harold Jones-Quarty almost made the play of the game. Watch him come in from behind the hustle, and he almost gets that ball out. You can see Bruce Ellington going back to secure it.
A season-long return for Ellington. The best starting field position of the game for San Francisco. First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Gabbert's pass incomplete, intended for Anquan Boldin.
Running a little play action, bringing Anquan Boldin from the opposite side. They're going to bring him in and drop him in on that little flat route. And it's covered very well by the Bears. Dangerous throw by Blaine Gabbert right there with Pernell McPhee in his face.
Gabbert's 4th start as a 49er. Second and 10 from the 40. Gabbert steps away from trouble and then throws it out of bounds. Again, it was McPhee with the pressure.
Well, I tell you what, he has really saved the 49ers offense a number of times today with his athletic ability. Pernell McPhee plays this perfect. He's contained. Don't chase it down inside. But the athletic ability of Blaine Gabbert in that situation just steps up, moves around him. Has an opportunity for a big sack for Pernell McPhee.
We welcome a new audience here in Chicago. We are in overtime. 3rd down and 10 for the 49ers. First possession of overtime. And that pass is incomplete again. Gabbert looking for Boldin, so the 49ers will punt it away.
And there's been pressure all afternoon long, trying to get it to Anquan Boldin out of the slot, pushing it up on the out route. But the Bears consistently this afternoon, with just 4 rushers, have gotten to Blaine Gabbert, kind of collapse that pocket, force that ball to come out a little earlier.
So the Niners go 3 and out on the first possession in overtime. Fair catch is called for at the 16-yard line by Mariani. So now the Chicago offense led onto the field by Jay Cutler.
Last time out, took his Bears team right down the field for a touchdown, and then also wore that clock down to give Robbie Gould that opportunity. But you look at what Chicago has done in the running game. You know, a team that Adam Gase, when he came in, said we will commit to the run, we'll run it effectively. Now, at this point in the game, do we start to see some of that play action to come off the running game, the commitment that they've had all afternoon?
There's Gould. He'll miss the potential game winner. First and 10 from the 15-yard line for Chicago as Cutler hands off to Forte. There is a flag.
Holding, offense, number 65. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
Patrick Omameh, great guard. Hands to the outside, and you just tug and pull.
Ball spotted back at the 8-yard line following the penalty. First down and 17. Cutler from the end zone. Pass is high, intended for Alshon Jeffrey. Acker defending.
Again, we've seen a lot of the drop back pass this afternoon. You would like to see a little bit more play action. They have been so effective with their run game. Played well right there by Kenneth Acker. He's got help from the inside, so he's playing with some outside leverage, and that's the way the route was breaking, to the outside.
Second down and 17 for Jay Cutler and the Bears. In overtime. Screen for Tank.
Nice positive play there in that situation. Make it a little bit more manageable here on third down.
It will be third down and 8. 49ers had a possession. Punted it away. And now the Bears must get to the 25 for a first down. Cutler under pressure. Moving to his left, correcting traffic. Pass was deflected and nearly picked off by Corey Lemonnier.
Oh, you got an opportunity to make a huge play. You get the deflection. He's all the way up here in the beginning. There's Corey Lemonnier there. He bails out into coverage. He's got the flat area. And as Jay Cutler throws it, deflected by Tony Gerard Eddy, and that's like a punt right there.
Right through his hands.
We've talked about this, Kenny. This game is sitting there for somebody to take control of. Robbie Gould couldn't do it in regulation. Corey Lemonnier couldn't do it here in overtime early.
Here's Ellington. Ellington down at the 28. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Mike Hill.
Don't forget, when you're done, we got America's Game of the Week. Cam Newton dabbing on them, trying to keep it going. Panthers trying to go to 12-0 the season against Drew Brees, fired up. Saints hoping to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. That's next for most of you on Fox.
All right, Mike, we look forward to it. This game was tied at 13 for 33 minutes from late in the second quarter until late in the fourth. In the last 4 minutes of regulation, they had a couple of touchdowns and a missed field goal. Each team has had a possession in overtime. San Francisco has the ball back. First and 10 from their own 29-yard line. As Gabbert goes deep for Torrey Smith. He makes the catch, and Smith wins the game for the San Francisco 49ers. 71 yards from Blaine Gabbert to Torrey Smith for the game winner.
Wow. The one thing that people have criticized Blaine Gabbert through his opportunity here with the San Francisco 49ers is stretching the field. Well, he just showed everybody he can do it. You just got to give him the shot. What a great throw. Working out of the slot. Just going to push it up. Gets passed on to the safety. Chris Brzezinski's a little bit inside, and Torrey Smith runs right past him. The one thing you have to know, if Torrey Smith is coming your way, you've got to give him cushion. He is too fast for a safety to run with.
Some big plays by Gabbert, a 44-yard touchdown run to tie the game late, and now a 71-yard touchdown pass as Smith stayed in bounds and takes it into the end zone for the first road win of the season for the San Francisco 49ers, and the first career outdoor road win for Blaine Gabbert.
It'll be interesting to see what this team does down the stretch They had a great performance against Arizona last week, came up a little bit short. They're trying to build off of that. They go out, win their first game on the road all season. Jim Tomsula's got to be ecstatic for his guys. And then the Chicago Bears, very similar situations. You're trying to get relevant at 6-6, and they couldn't take advantage of it.
The crowd stunned here in Chicago as we say so long. America's Game of the Week is coming up next.